Hey friends, so today we're making Crockpot smothered chicken. So I already took my chicken and seasoned it last night and put it in a bag and let it marinate in the refrigerator. So now I'm just going to rub in my seasonings, make sure everything is totally covered in seasonings so that everything gets flavor. So then I take my chicken fry. This is the House of Autry chicken fry, and it's just basically flour that's already seasoned to add some flavor. So once we get that coated, we're gonna start to cut up our onions and green peppers to get those ready to add. I cut up the onions, cut up the green peppers, and then I'm just gonna put those aside for now. You can cut them up how you like, whether it's slices, short way, long way. So I'm gonna go back and make sure each of my chicken pieces is covered with the chicken fry or flour, whichever one you use. And that's just to give it a nice crispy coating once we brown the chicken, because we're going to put that in the pan and we're going to brown it with some oil. So now we're going to add the oil to the frying pan, let that get nice and hot. Once it's hot, we're going to add the chicken to that. Now I use avocado oil, but you can use whatever oil that you want. Some people use olive oil, canola oil. It doesn't matter, any kind of oil. Now once the oil is hot, I started adding the chicken pieces to the oil, and I'm just adding them all in. I just want to make sure the chicken gets very crispy on the outside, and I'm not cooking it to cook it all the way through. Just making sure I sear it on the outside and it gets a nice crispy brown coating to it before I add it to the crock pot. While our chicken continues to cook and gets nice and crispy, we're going to add some chicken broth and some cream of chicken soup to our crock pot. So we're going to add a cup of the chicken broth to the crock pot and a cup of the cream of chicken soup. You can add chicken cream of mushroom if you want, but we're not really mushroom fans over here. So once I added that to the crock pot, I'm going to stir that around, mix it in together. I'm going to mix that in together before we add the chicken. We're going to stir it around and make sure it has like almost like a soup consistency. Just make sure everything is mixed in well. Okay, so once your chicken is nice and crispy, you're going to go ahead and take that out of the frying pan and go ahead and add it to your crock pot. Once you have your chicken in your crock pot, go ahead and add your green peppers, your onions. You can add a little bit more seasoning. I put some black pepper, a little bit more onion powder, garlic powder. Now here's where I try to get fancy and use the garlic press. Yes, I use it all the time, and this thing I felt like I was in the gym, and it was a struggle. But finally got it. I added some fresh minced garlic. I don't really like garlic out of the jar. So I added about 2 cloves of garlic. So you want to set your crock pot on high for about 4 hours. While that's cooking, I was able to peel my potatoes because we don't do boxed potatoes here. So I went ahead and peeled and cut up my potatoes and prepped those. All right, so let's check on our chicken. Okay, we're halfway done. Sizzle. All right, so then I started on my green beans. I added some salt and pepper and garlic powder, butter, olive oil, and a little bit of the chicken broth to the green beans. Cook those up in a pan, covered them, and let them sit. Then I started on my mashed potatoes, just your standard mashed potatoes, butter, milk, little garlic, sour cream, whatever else you want in there, your basics. So after 4 hours, our food is finally done and it's time to eat. We got our smothered chicken, our green beans, and our mashed potatoes. So this is how it came out. Chicken was so tender, falling off the bone. Everything was delicious. Follow me and also comment below if you tried this recipe and how yours came out. Bye.